Okay, we're now in Kilayim, Parakeh Mishnah Vav. Parakeh Mishnah Vav of Kilayim. And I want to dedicate, we're going to dedicate the learning today, in this Mishnayot for today, to the memory of Menachem ben Pinchas Zev. It's my wife's grandfather who died the evening that we're learning this the first time. Menachem ben Pinchas Zev is Rena's grandfather, and we're going to dedicate the learning in memory of Grandpa. We miss him very much. Okay. So we learned when we looked at the pasuk of Kilayim, we learned the following. Let's go back to our pasuk. We'll go to the pasuk at the very beginning that we learned in the original, when we first learned the original din of Kilayim. Says the Torah, Lo tizra kar mecha Kilayim. You should not plant your kerem Kilayim. Pen tigdash hamalaya ahzera asher tizra. Lest tigdash, we learned that tigdash means you should make it prohibited. Hamalaya, the grain. Hazera asher tizra. And we learned this idea of asher tizra. Asher tizra means that you did it intentionally. You did it on purpose. So therefore, we're going to learn from this, both in this Mishnah and the next Mishnah, that if you didn't do it on purpose, if it happened on its own and you didn't know about it, it's not asur. Okay, and that's a critically important point that we're going to discuss both in this Mishnah and the next Mishnah. That's a point that we have to understand in order to understand our Mishnah. In addition to pentizra, lest you plant it, there's an idea of lekayim, hamekayim, a person who sees kilayim and allows it to continue to remain. That's also a sort of an awareness that's prohibited. So we're going to see in our Mishnah both of these ideas. Haro'eh yarak bakerem. If you see yarek, if you see vegetation growing in your vineyard, ve'amar, and you say, Kisha gielo alaktenu. When I get to it, meaning i.e. I'm pulling weeds and I'm getting to it, I'm working on this vine and I'm moving my way towards, and I see down in the distance, I see that I have a vegetable growing in my kerem, mutar. Then it's not prohibited because I didn't knowingly allow it to remain. So therefore, even though, and we're going to see there's a minimum amount of echad mimatayim, even though between the time that I saw it, echad mimatayim means 1/200th, even from the time that I saw it to the time that I got to it, more than 1/200th of the plant grew, which is the prohibited amount. Nonetheless, that's prohibited. But if he said, Kisha achzor alaktenu, I'm standing right by and I say, yeah, I can't take care of it and I got to go buy pizza or whatever. Okay? When I come back, I will pull it, I will remove it. Then im hosif b'matayim, then if an additional 1/200th of the plant was added between the time that you knew about it and were aware about it, and you were mekayim and you allowed it to exist, then it's asur. Then it's prohibited. Okay? So therefore, there are two criteria in order to be prohibited from Kilayim. One, you know about it, mekayimo, or you planted it, of course, and hosip matayim, and it added 1/200th. If both of those are fulfilled, both those conditions, then it's prohibited mishum klaya kerem. It prohibits, and it's tigdash amalaya et hazera. We'll just add a couple of additional points. The Bartanura says the following. He says, how do you decide? How do you know what's 1/200th? V'ketzad misharim im hosif matayim. How do you know if a 200th grew? He says, ro'im kisher chodchim yarazeh, when you cut it, o min shel tvuazeh min ha-mechubar, or some, this species, when you cut it, how long will it take? Let's say it's an ear of corn. I cut off the corn. How long will it take for it to dry entirely? So if it dries out in 100 hours, if after you saw it, you left it a half an hour, i.e. 1/200th of the time that it would take to dry out, and you didn't cut it, you didn't pull it out, that's an additional 1/200th. So that's the Chazal say, that's the Rambam writes also. The way you measure 1/200th is you see how long would it take for this plant to dry out. 1/200th of that time would be the time of lekayim, of kiyum, in order to make it prohibited. The Kahati adds one additional point, and we'll finish with this. He says, why is it 1/200th? He says the din of bitul. Well, Rashi says on the Gemara in Pesachim that the din of bitul, nullification, normally let's say every Isra is batel b'shishim. 1/60th. So if I have milk, it falls into my chicken soup, it's batel b'shishim. Or truma is batel b'meya. Kilayim, kilay hakerem is batel echad b'matayim. So Rashi says, just like it's batel, it's nullified 1/200. Similarly, if it's hosip b'matayim, then it's asur and kilay hakerem. On the other hand, he also quotes the Sefer Yerim, who says it's a din d'oraita. That's from the drasha from the pasuk, Penti Kadesh HaMeleah, Meleah Mashe Yitmaleh. We'll look back, we won't see it here, Penti Kadesh HaMeleah, and that's why we get the number of 1,200. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to contact me, as always, at rspolter@gmail.com. Have a great day.